when you and Nancy started in the early and mid '70s, did you feel you had to fight a lot of sexism?
Boy, that's putting it mildly. I mean, that's really an huge sexism, and it was a big, heavy, locked door that was shut in our faces, and in the faces of all women. You know, the only way you could ever be successful in the music business before then was to be what we call cheesecake.
Mm-hmm.
Was to, you know, take off your clothes and be a little sexy Playboy bunny-ish type gal, you know, who was basically really selling sex rather than music. Mm. So, you know, we had to fight that from the get-go, and one of our biggest obstacles, I think, was being taken seriously. And Nancy used to have people come up to her, especially men, come up to her in the early days and say, like, "Wow, you're really a good guitar player for a gal. Is that thing really plugged in?" You know,
mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of insulting, you know.
Of course.
And because she's a very beautiful girl, and so men would always, she'd be playing this amazing acoustic guitar stuff, but they'd only be looking at her, you know.
Yeah.
So it was frustrating for her, and you know, I think that today women still have a hard row to hoe,
mm-hmm.
because you know, that's just the nature of the beast. But I think that it's come a long way. I think there are an awful lot more women doing it, an awful lot more women not standing on their gender and just being great artists and getting out there and kicking some butt.
You know? Yeah. I once read that you wrote the song Barracuda in response to an ad your record company had, which featured you and your sister naked. Tell me about this.
Yeah. Well, that's right along the lines of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We were fairly new into the music business at that time, and working really, really hard to get our music out there and write our songs and make them be as good as we could, and, you know, be authentic, be honest. And we really felt that the fans were starting to get it. We're starting to get us. We're starting to get the idea that, you know, girls could go out there and be just as creative, just as legitimate. We were sort of really starting to have that feeling. And then one night after a show, there was a big bunch of record industry guys in our dressing room, and they were all pretty sleazy. You know, they were the typical pinky ring wearing kind of sleazy, sexist, greasy guys. And one of them came up to me and said, "Well, so Annie, how's your lover?" And I was with a man at that time, and I went, "Oh, he's fine. Michael's fine, you know." And he goes, No, I mean you and your sister, your lover, right?"
Yeah.
And it dawned on me that the only thing this guy cared about, and a lot of the music industry males cared about at that point, was the idea of two women getting sexual together that he could watch.
Yeah.
See what I mean? And that really pissed me off, because we've been working really hard at trying to be legitimate artists. Cool. And so I just got really mad about that when it dawned on me that that was all he was seeing. So I went back to the hotel and wrote the words to Barracuda, and I felt better after I wrote them.
Of course.
But it's pretty much of a tantrum, you know, against the sleazy underbelly of the industry.